As an opposition team, we believe that students have a promising future to strive for, and incidents of high school delinquency should not be grounds for jeopardizing their entire career. Moreover, everyone deserves the opportunity for redemption. To clarify, so to answer the government side, there are several things that we are clarifying. First, we oppose the expulsion of students for a first-time bullying offense. Instead, we advocate for rehabilitation through comprehensive counseling, psychological support, and active parental involvement. Second of all, in order to protect these victims, we will separate the bullies into a different class to ensure the victims' comfort and safety. Additionally, the bullies will also be closely supervised by a teacher to prevent bullying to newer targets. Third, support for the victims will also be a main priority, including trauma counseling and psychological care to aid in their recovery. Fourth, the school bears the responsibility of enhancing the school is a safe space model by installing CCTV in blind spots, assigning security personnel to regularly patrol the grounds, and increasing efforts to educate students on character development and serious consequences of bullying. Now, before presenting my arguments, I would like to do a rebuttal. So the affirmative team has emphasized about the measures that they would implement in order to protect the victims. However, the affirmative team has failed to consider the side of perpetrators, who are also underage to minors, who are just mere students who deserve a second chance too. Just because they have committed an offense, it does not mean that their entire future should be jeopardized by being expelled from school. And let's say even if they can find other schools, they will only end up in lower quality schools who are the only ones willing to accept them, which is a significant loss, particularly if they have academic potential. This potential would be then wasted, and the quality of their education would very much suffer. In our scenario, it's much better as we offer protection to the victim whilst giving second chances to perpetrators. I mentioned in our mechanism that victims and bullies will be in a separate class, hence these victims don't need to worry about meeting their bullies anymore. Now onto my arguments. I have two arguments to present. The first is why we don't need to expel these bullies. So first layer, as of the status quo right now, existing punishments are already progressive and effective in reducing bullying in the form of evaluation, calling parents, detention, social service, etc. Detention serves as a strong deterrent as it carries a social stigma. Involving parents also allows them to discipline their children. This makes harsher punishments like expulsion unnecessary and will only cause unnecessary harm. Now onto the second layer. In our mechanism, the school has already given enough protection to the victims in the form of counseling, separating their classes so that they won't see their bullies anymore, and that is already enough to ensure the safety of these victims, so the affirmative side do not have to worry anymore about the convenience of victims. Now onto the second argument is why the school is not justified to expel these bullies. For the first layer, to characterize bullies, they often bully their victims around the school environment because no one limits their action and there is an opportunity to do so. And this is caused by a lack of security, so they feel emboldened to do such things. For example, school backyards, they tend to be blind spots, hence becoming an opportunity for bullying to take place. And the school is to blame for this as they partially contribute to these bullying cases. This is because they don't give students enough socialization of bullying, they lack character building teaching, and the lack of security around the school environment poses as an open door for bullies to bully. If the school was stricter, then these bullying cases wouldn't have happened. So the school should be responsible on bullying cases, and not in the form of washing their hands and expelling a student, but actually improving their system and repairing the damage that they've caused, which was the reason why bullying could have happened so easily. Now onto the second layer, students are characterized as young adults who have dreams to fight for just like everyone else. However, they tend to be slightly delinquent, although those naughtiness are often temporary. School, on the other hand, is characterized as a foundation to build soft skills, manners, discipline, as well as behaviors. They are a foundation that should accept everyone regardless of what they do, because the point of a school is to mold these individuals into better people. If a school removes a student because they violate the rules once, then it goes against its own vision, which is to mold students into better people. If they were to accept students on regard of what they do, then schools will only be filled with pre-existing smart, disciplined, and the best students. Hence, schools won't be a place anymore for those who are slightly worse in terms of academic or in terms of behavior. Additionally, it cannot be justified that they are expelled from school because of a bullying case. Because imagine if you bullied someone once and you end up on the streets of the road for the rest of your life. How unfair would that be for you? And let me tell you why this worrying scenario could take place. Because when you're expelled, you have a bad track record of your behavior. And because of this, no school wants to accept you anymore. And you cannot get a proper institution which is good enough for you. Especially when you're smart, it is such a big loss. And when this happens, you cannot possibly enter a university and pursue a career just like everyone else. So, because the school is partially responsible for bullying cases, and because there are better mechanisms from our side to reduce bullying in less extreme ways than expulsion, which still serves justice to both victims and perpetrators in the form of separating classes and active support of victims as well as psychological support to bullies, so I am very proud to stand against this motion.